Hi, it's Sonia here with The Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So I usually post videos about knitting and crocheting, but today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Sometimes I occasionally post videos that are not knitting and crochet related, and this is one of those days. And I am currently sitting in my kitchen and it is the new year. So happy new year, happy 2025. I hope everybody had a great holiday season. And I thought I would kick off the new year by starting a challenge for myself because I feel like ever since my husband passed away, so he passed away almost 3.5 years ago, and there's been a lot of challenges with that. Of course, it's been a rough time, but we're doing okay. But one of the biggest struggles that I've had is food, which sounds kind of weird. So when my husband was alive, our whole food menu budget kind of revolved around his illness. He was a type 2 diabetic. So since my husband passed away, one of the biggest struggles that I've had, or challenges, there's been many struggles, but one that I still am currently dealing with is food. And the reason being is when my husband was alive, he was a type 2 diabetic. So anything that I bought, shopped, made meals for pretty much revolved around his illness. We had to be really careful of, what we made because of his blood sugar issues and things like that. Not that he ultimately died from that, and he cheated an awful lot. I'm just gonna say he did, but we did try our best. And also he was a very picky eater as well. So there was just certain foods I just wouldn't buy. And at the time when my husband was alive, there were 5 of us in the house. And my husband was also a very large man. He was over 6'5". So basically he ate, I felt like I was feeding 6 people instead of 5 people, because the amount of food that he needed to eat would have fed like 2 people, an average, 2-person. So, I had to buy a lot of food. So after he passed, that was a challenge because for years, we were married for 27 years, and, I had 3 kids. So for a large part of our marriage, I was buying food for 5, 6 people. And then all of a sudden that changed. And I struggled with buying too much food. And I just noticed, almost 4 years later, I feel like I've just been wasting so much food. And my ancestry, I guess, I have Mennonite roots. I am not a practicing Mennonite right now, but in my family history, there were a lot of Mennonites, and Mennonites are known to be very thrifty, and they don't like to waste things, and that runs deep. Genetics are a thing, and I feel that pretty hard, where it's really been bothering me, where I feel like I've just been wasting so much money on food. And it's been hard because, trying to change old habits. And also my household, not only since my husband passed, but I have 3 kids, but my one has now moved out. So I'm starting to go into empty nest syndrome as well. So that is changing the whole food dynamic as well. So my oldest got married, which is a wonderful thing. I love my new son-in-law. He's fantastic. But she's not here. And then I still have 2 at home, but my one child is 21 now, and he's basically here just to kind of sleep, occasionally eat. So he's not here an awful lot, and he's in school, and he also works, and he has a girlfriend, and so they're doing a lot of stuff. Okay, so we are in a different spot because somebody came home, and our kitchen's in the hub of the house, and so I needed to move. So this is my normal filming room where I film my knit crochet stuff. But yes, I'm talking about my problems with food since my husband died. I just feel like I've been wasting so much, and as I said, you know, I have 2 kids at home now. I'm starting to go through the empty nest syndrome and trying to figure out how much food I need to make. I know there's other ends of the spectrum where people are trying to, you know, accumulate as much food as they can because, you know, we have had some crazy times, but I just feel like I've been wasting so much. I cleaned out my pantry and I threw out so much, and that was just so upsetting to me because, you know, there literally are people out there that are starving, and here I am just throwing out this spoiled food, which just really kind of convicted me and thought I really need to do something to do better. So, as you saw in the title, I am going to try to feed, as I say, 1 to 3 people on $35 a week. Now that does sound extreme, and part of the reason why I chose that is my income will change as well in a couple months, so I really do need to be mindful of also how much I'm spending, and I just want to, you know, challenge myself a little bit as well. And fortunately, where I live, I can do that. I know some people do not have that luxury. I have quite a few choices as far as where I can shop for food. I am fortunate to live near a local discount grocery store, which has helped tremendously. And I also live near a local farmer's market. We have quite a few where we are, so I can get fresh food at you know, it's not super cheap, but it's quality, good food. We do have Aldi, we have Grocery Outlet, plus just, you know, a regular, you know, chain grocery store where we are. So I do have a lot of choices. And I do know if you're trying to save money with food, you can't just shop at one store. Like, as much as I love the discount grocery store, it doesn't have everything. So I can get, you know, quite a few things there. It's usually like where I go first when I shop, and then whatever I can't find there, then I, you know, I have my go-to places. Like some things I only get at Aldi nowadays, and I haven't shopped a lot at Grocery Outlet, but I need to step it up and check it out more. So you might be wondering why 1 to 3 people. Well, as I said before, I'm starting to go through empty nest syndrome. So sometimes I am feeding 3. Sometimes I'm actually feeding 4 or 5 when my daughter and her husband's over. Currently, my son-in-law is deployed, so he is not home right now. Lord willing, hopefully he'll be back in a couple months. So sometimes my daughter will come over, usually on a Sunday, so I'll have like a family meal where there's 4 of us, but then other days it just might be 3 or 2, or now sometimes it's just me. So that's kind of why I just kind of averaged it 1 to 3. And also my son's kind of like his dad was. He's a fussy eater too. So a lot of times he's buying his own food, and actually my youngest is doing that as well. She's a senior in high school, and she drives and has a job, and you know, so she's, you know, starting to become independent and just buying her own things. So yeah, sometimes I'll make dinner and they don't want to eat it because they want to eat their own food. So what I've done is I have come up with a menu for the week. And also I think that's very helpful when you're trying to save money. I used to do that when my kids were little. You know, money's always been tight in our household. I mean, we've never lacked, but you know, we're not rolling in it by any means. So we've always had to be careful. And at times we were actually on food stamps as well, because my husband was out of work pretty much through no fault of his own, but it just one of those things that happened. And you know, we were thinking he'd get a job pretty quickly, and he didn't. You know, like months went by, so we had to go on food stamps. So I do, you know, try to be really careful, and I've just, you know, been kind of frustrated with myself because I feel like I've just been, you know, not having any plan, just kind of go to the store and be like, oh, whatever, I'll just buy whatever, and, you know, then the waste happens. So I came up with like I'm going to do weekly menus to kind of help myself. This is more for me to be more accountable, and I thought I would just kind of share the journey, and you know, if it helps you as well, that's great. If not, that's okay too. You know, I know like $35 is pretty extreme and it might not be enough. I'm just kind of giving myself like a tight number to see if I can do it, because I do like to challenge myself, and because I do have the resources that I do, I might be able to do it. And so how it's going to work for me is I will also be using things that I already have in my pantry. So when I have like a certain meal, I probably won't have to buy all of the items for that meal because I already have them, like spices or oil, because those are things I already have on hand. And occasionally, you know, they'll run out and I'll have to get more, but so that kind of stuff I won't have to buy. So I'm just going to have to kind of buy the supplementary items to make the meal. So I already have the first week's menu up. You're seeing it right now. So for me, for breakfast, and even for my kids, we are not big breakfast people, so I eat cereal almost every day. I know it's not the best for me, and I can't say that I eat the healthiest cereal, but I love cereal. I'm not giving it up. That's what I have. So I just have a small bowl of cereal in the morning for breakfast. And it can be all different kinds. It just depends. Fortunately, where I live, the discount grocery store almost always has cereal, and I can get it for, my rule is to get cereal $2 and under. And now that's been a bit of a challenge recently because they've raised their prices too, just like all of the other grocery stores. So sometimes my go-to cereals that I could get for like $1.75 or $1.50 have, now they're $2.25, so that's kind of a bummer. And occasionally Aldi will have cereal that I like under $2 as well. So I kind of get my cereal at either one of those stores. And I will need to check out Grocery Outlet to see their cereal selection, because maybe they will have some special deals on cereal as well. So yeah, most of the days, so I have on, you'll see up there, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I most likely will have cereal. And then occasionally I do have an egg for breakfast. So I have one egg, and I usually have eggs in my fridge on hand. Occasionally I do have to buy them, but I will have an egg on, we'll say Wednesday. And then Thursday, also going to have cereal. And then I do like to make smoothies. And I did see in my freezer that I had bought some frozen fruit that's been in there for a little bit. And I thought, you know, we need to use that up. So we will have a smoothie, and I do have protein powder that I also recently got because my daughter said she wanted to make a bunch of smoothies and she hasn't touched it. So I thought, you know, let's use that protein powder to make the smoothies. And then again, Saturday, we will have cereal. So the smoothies will consist of mostly, well, almond milk. I like to make my smoothies with almond milk. I could use regular milk, but I prefer almond milk with my smoothie. I do mix spinach in with the smoothie. I can, if anyone's interested in like exact recipe, I can put it up. But I mean, I'm not a cook by any means. I can cook okay, but I'm not like fancy at all. Like the food that I'm going to be making is going to be, I don't want to say it's completely unhealthy by any means, but it's just, you know, more to fill the stomach. And there are some healthy aspects, but it's not like it's vegan or keto or anything like that. Like I'm just trying to make some basic food to keep us fed and things that we like as well. So for lunch, I eat almost the same thing every day. I'm kind of boring, and my kids kind of do their own thing for lunch. So I eat a salad every day for lunch, just about. And my salad usually has, I get the lettuce from the local farmer's market, and I also usually have broccoli in there, and if there's, and whatever other veggies in season, like if there's carrots or cauliflower, I'll have in there as well. I always have flaxseed on hand. I like flaxseed in my salad, so I sprinkle that on there. And then whatever dressing that I can get at the discount grocery store. So usually it's like ranch or honey mustard or something like that. And then I also like to have a little bit of cheese in my salad. Sometimes I have hard-boiled eggs, like at Easter time when I make, you know, we color eggs, I'll put hard-boiled egg in my salad, but that's pretty much it. And then I often will have like a snack along with my lunch. So that usually is either pretzels, I love pretzels, or I love Cheez-Its. So it's usually pretzels or Cheez-Its for the snack. And then for dinners, I have, so for Sunday, I usually do have a dinner for all of my kids. That's kind of like our family day. So I have for the first week, so this is the week of January 5th, I call it the beef noodle meal because everybody likes it. Even my son, who's very picky, and when his dad was alive, he liked it too. It's kind of like my version of hamburger helper, but I call it like the homemade version. And I always like to have green beans on the side because my kids are pretty picky with veggies, and everybody will eat green beans. So that's pretty much it, is what we're going to have for Sunday. And for lunch on Sunday, often we kind of have, like, we call it dinner, so it's like lunch dinner. So that's going to be lunch dinner. And, you know, the kids will have snacks. Like I said, I usually have pretzels, Cheez-Its, whatever. And most times my kids will buy their own snacks, so they'll just eat their own snacks. And then Monday, and that probably will not yield me any leftovers because the kids usually eat all of it. So Monday I thought I would do like a turkey rice casserole. I do have rice on hand, so I don't have to buy that. And I did have Thanksgiving, and I have leftover frozen turkey, so we will use that. And I usually use just whatever spices that I have on hand, like thyme, rosemary, you know, things like that, that pair well with that. And I also mix in like a cream soup, so I know I have some cream of mushroom soup or cream of chicken, one of those. It doesn't matter, they both taste good in there. And I just mix that, and then I usually pair it with a veggie. So whatever frozen veggie I have on hand, like broccoli, green beans. I love peas. My kids hate peas, but I don't care. I like peas, so whatever I have, I'll have with it. And then Tuesday for dinner, I have eggs for myself because a lot of times on Tuesdays I'm just by myself, so I don't like making a huge meal just for me. And I like eggs, so oftentimes I'll just fry an egg for myself and have like some raw veggies with it, like broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, whatever I have, and that's dinner. Like, I'm pretty simple. And then Wednesday I have pasta, and that usually consists of just some type of red sauce and whatever type of pasta noodles that I have. And then I usually have Parmesan cheese sprinkled on there. Sometimes I have a salad with it, sometimes I don't. If I have some leftover bread, I often will kind of make garlic bread in the oven, so not to waste bread, because I've been finding buying a whole loaf of bread, we don't often eat it. So what I started doing was dividing it in half and freezing them in half, because we were wasting bread because my kids don't like sandwiches that much, and I do like them occasionally. And another dinner I have are what we make are called pesto pizzas. And how I make those, I always have tortillas, like flour tortillas on hand, because at the grocery store, the discount grocery store, I can get tortillas, a pack of them, for like 25 cents, which is amazing. Now they might be slightly outdated, but if they're like a month outdate, they're fine. And I usually pop them in my freezer and then just pull them out when we need them. So we make pesto pizza, and how we make them is I can often get pesto sauce at the discount grocery store for like $1. So I try to stock up on that because we do like it, and I spread that on the bottom of the tortilla. Actually, I usually spread a little olive oil mixed in with the pesto sauce. And then on the tortilla, then I load it up with spinach, and then whatever toppings that we want, whatever we have on hand. So often we'll put broccoli. If I have black olives, I'll put them on there, pepperoni, a little bit of mozzarella cheese, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and I like to add some Italian seasoning, and then I bake it in the oven for like 9 minutes on 400 till it's crispy, and it's good to go. And they're delicious. We love them. And then we will have leftovers for 2 nights because it's only 3 of us, we most likely will have leftovers. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to have you keep in mind is when I will show my receipts when I shop. And so sometimes my receipts will be more than $35 because, you know, when you go to the grocery store, you need toilet paper or you need soap or whatever. And I'm not going to just go like one trip for food and then another trip for the toiletries. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to buy everything at one shot if I need to. So you'll see circled on the receipt like the food items, and then the other stuff isn't going to count. Because even when we were on food stamps, if you've never been on food stamps, a little fun fact, that does not cover toiletries. It only covers food, which can be challenging if you're really struggling and you need toilet paper and you don't have it, and you have all this money for food stamps, but you can't use it for toilet paper. That's kind of frustrating. But you know, some people don't know that. I didn't know that until we had to go into food stamps, and I never thought that would ever happen to me, but it did. You know, you just never know, life's going to throw you. I didn't know I'd be a widow at this point in my life either. But yeah, so that is something that I think I'm going to post every week, just basically to keep me accountable with my food budget and meal planning, you know, to try to be better and be less wasteful, because that's really my goal for this. It's not to be like, oh, look at me, I can eat, you know, dirt and rocks. It's just to help me adjust to, you know, heading into empty nest syndrome and just to be less wasteful. You know, it really bothered me, the waste that I saw when I cleaned out my pantry. I was just really upset with myself that I just let that go. I was so like lax about that and just careless. So that's basically why I'm doing this. So yeah, tune in each week to see how successful I am on my food budgeting and my meal planning, and also to kind of help me be more creative, because I feel like I've been in a rut with meals as well. So yeah, I will post any recipes, or well, they're not really recipes, I just kind of throw things together. But if you're interested in what I throw together, then, you know, I'll definitely share that too. And I'm still going to post my knit and crochet stuff, because that's like the main part of this channel. This is just a side thing. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!